I got something in my pocket here. Should take it out. Because I wrote a book, and in that book there's like 20 years of memories. So I have lots of different memories over the years. Little plugs in.
It's a great book, by the way.
In the early years, nobody, you know, they didn't know the Ramones very well.
Yeah.
Later on, the Lollapalooza tour, the bill was Metallica, Soundgarden, Rancid. So I put the Ramones on stage, and I'm standing there, and all these groups, you know, Rancid, Metallica, Soundgarden, they're all big fans. They're standing there watching the band. They became being very friendly with the Ramones later on. This is like the last tour. And all these fans gave them credit that they saw them as kids, and they started their own bands after seeing the Ramones. I think that's the legacy of the Ramones. They're kind of like the Johnny Appleseed of music at the time, because they would go around and play those small cities and countries, and all these kids would see them and say, if they can do it, it's not that hard. I mean, it's good songs, but competent. You don't have to be like Jimi Hendrix, Jimmy Cage, or anything. So all these kids saw them, and they formed groups and give them credit, you know. Metallica, Soundgarden, U2 wrote that song, The Miracle of Johnny Ramone, and Pearl Jam. They all were big fans. I think we were playing like Cincinnati early on, and these kids came back and said, hey, we're Metallica, we love you guys. They were like kids.
Oh, hello there. Hi, it's Cam from Ephram Bonus, coming to you from the basement broadcast. What's up, Mom? Today we're checking out On the Road with the Ramones by Monte A Melnick and Frank Meyer. As many of you know, Monte was the longtime road manager for the Ramones, there for all the highlights and the lowlights, I'm sure. But every, Rock and Roll High School and multiple tours, and just really a character in his own. If this thing is just chock full of photographs and stories, and there's all kinds of from industry insiders and and producer Ed Stasium to David Lee Roth. In fact, a great little piece in here by David Lee Roth, who talks about the Ramones and what kind of impact they had on music, and particularly their fans, and he likens it to like a church, it's more of a religion. It just goes beyond the music and the songs, and it is a spiritual experience for fans. They love everything about the Ramones. They can't get enough of it. And I, as a friend of Jim's, I can certainly attest to that, as Jim is a diehard Ramones fan. So if you too like the Ramones, I would check out On the Road with the Ramones, and by Monte A Melnick and Frank Meyer. I'd like to introduce you to Jim's doll. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. So I'd like to introduce everyone to Johnny Ramone.
Say hi, Johnny.
He's a man of few words. But he sure is good looking. Aren't you, buddy?
My publisher let me put in over 300 images, posters, photos. It's unusual for a book to have so many pictures in it. So that's why I was very happy to have it. My publisher let me do that. This is 1977. We did a big tour of Europe with the Talking Heads, and this is in Copenhagen. That's the original band there before. We were in Copenhagen. That's the Little Mermaid there. And over the years, we had several different ways of touring. And first, we had a station wagon, and then cars, and then we eventually got a van and a trailer. That was crazy, driving that thing around with the band and the crew in there, and the equipment in the trailer. And I don't know if you ever handled one of these things in bad weather. It was like a trip and a half on it. Went to Graceland. There's the band in front of Graceland, Elvis's place. And later on, Johnny became good friends with Lisa Marie Presley, who passed away just recently. They became very good friends, and he got a personal tour of Graceland later on, all the different spots that people ordinarily wouldn't see from Lisa Marie Presley, So he became Linda and Johnny became good friends with hers. Of course, the movie Rock and Roll High School, I shot that movie. Joke, that's Alan Arkish, the director. He let me sit behind the camera. That was a great, doing that whole movie there with the band and meeting all the actors and stuff like that. That was terrific.
You're in it too, right?
Yeah, I'm in that movie. I have a little cameo appearance. I kind of play the promoter. When the band comes up singing, I just want to have something to do. They pull to the curb and I come out, I open the door for them, shake the hand of the manager, and then walk behind them as they sing the song. You can see me talking to the manager. I'm kind of like, play the promoter of the show. And there's another scene of me backstage when the whole monitors are running around crazy backstage. Another little story here. We went to Berlin quite a bit. And in the early years, getting into Berlin, you had to go through East Germany. There was only one road. You couldn't get on the road, off the road, I mean, because it was East Germany. And once you got inside Berlin, there's a wall around it, and you couldn't really get close to the wall. There's machine guns on top of the wall. So we come back in 1989, and the wall's coming down. So we were lucky enough to get there. The promoter went to a hardware store, got hammers and chisels, and we went to the wall and we chopped down pieces of the wall. Boy, that wall was hard. It's concrete, I tell you. So we're there before the wall came down. You couldn't get near the wall. Then we're there when the wall's coming down. And a year later, we came back. Well, here's me actually at the wall, chopping a piece of wall off there. It was a good souvenir, but it was hard concrete. It took a while to get little chips off of that wall. I gave pieces of wall to the people as gifts. And so a year later, we came back to Berlin and the wall's gone, and we actually played the eastern side of Germany there at the time, because you couldn't get in before that. So we were there before the wall, when the wall was there, when it was coming down, and afterwards. And then, of course, in Germany, Flo, a good friend of ours, has a Ramones museum, the only place in the world he had a museum. It's closed down now, but he's going to reopen it soon. A Ramones museum, and it should have been here in New York, but he had actually a Ramones museum in Berlin there for a while. And just to end up in Spain, one of my favorite hotels.
Ah, there you go.
I stole all the towels. It's a great, it's on top of, in San Sebastian, the Basque country, Hotel Monte. Monte actually means like top of the mountain in Spanish and Italian, so. And that's a few pictures I brought along to entertain you.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.